All right, let's get to it. Just like the title says, this is the end for organized religion. All right, this is the end all, be all for organized religion. All right. After I'm done, there won't be no church standing, not no mosque, not no synagogue, not a church of Scientology, not the Mormon temple of Joseph Smith. None of that shit is going to stand a chance. All right. This is the Alpha and the Omega. This is, if they the Church of God, right? Then I'm like a Category 5 hurricane hitting an old ass trailer in the state of Florida. That's what this is. Alright? That's what this is. If they Apollo Creed, alright, I am Ivan Drago. I defeat all man. Okay? If they are wound, I am Neosporin. Okay? If this is the Matrix, I am Neo. Finna wake y'all punk asses up. That's what this is right here. Okay? Now, I don't need to use no human references. I'm not going to be doing that. I don't need to pull up no pictures. I don't need to be bringing out archaeological evidence. I don't need to be getting on a video conference and having some biblical scholar or theologian to give confirmation to my information. I don't need none of that neither. Alright? This isn't one of them videos that I'm finna... No, this is unfiltered, 100% truth, man. This is a cut. Alright? If the sword was in the stone and couldn't nobody go over there and get the sword out the stone, I'm finna pull that motherfucker out today. Not only am I gonna pull the sword out the stone, but I'm gonna finna start cutting motherfuckers with it, man. I'm gonna be slicing and dicing. Okay? That's what this is. Alright? They don't stand a chance. Alright? Preachers is gonna quit. Niggas is gonna leave the congregation. If it's Sunday, they gonna be sleeping in next Sunday once they hear this. Alright? It's finished. If this was Mortal Kombat and the Great Spirit, the Most High, however you say it, God, who you people ignorantly call God, he's the motherfucker saying, finish him. Okay? That's what this is right here. Alright? Now let's get to it. And let me premise it on this. Alright? I had heard something the other day, like something that said, ask yourself, like, okay, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? What's the first thing that you do? And that tells a lot about yourself. Well, that's easy for me because I go to sleep and I wake up to always searching out knowledge, always searching out the truth. There's a fire that has always burned inside me since I was young, you know? Always searching out true wisdom and understanding. And there is a plethora of false doctrines out there, let me tell you. There's a whole lot of stumbling blocks, and I've hit a whole lot of walls, man. These motherfuckers always running around talking about, they got the truth. They got the truth. They woke. They conscious. Man, 99.99% of these motherfuckers is not conscious, okay? And you're going to understand why, all right? Not as conscious as the indigenous ancestors were conscious, you know? We have gotten totally away from that. Now, I'm gonna premise it on this that, you know, I had a revelation on May 6th, 2 days ago. Today is May 8th, 2018. All right, I had a true revelation. Now, what is a revelation? I don't want you to think biblically. A revelation is to reveal. Okay? Something is revealed. Now, if something is revealed to you, that indicates that it was already there. The truth was already there, but however, it was just revealed to you. Right? You follow me? Okay. So, the truth is there. It's in plain sight. But only when it is revealed. You know what I mean? When the veil comes off. You know? That is a revelation. So I had a revelation. And it wasn't like it was one event, one thing that somebody said. Think of it more as a bunch of rivers from different mountaintops. From my diligent study my whole life, this is what I've done, is look for this. I've prayed for this. I've searched for this. It's like a bunch of rivers coming together unto one mighty river. You know what I mean? That's what this was, you know, unto a dam. You know, that little crack, that's all it needed, because all that pressure had been building. So can't know about one thing or one person take any credit for this. This was all the pressure from everything, and finally, you know, it just took that little crack, and that dam done collapsed. Okay? I mean, I've been in the scripts for a minute. I've studied history. I do all that shit. All right? Bear with me now. So, you know, and this is nothing against the cat, because, you know, a lot of people are just lost. So, you know, my best friend, my brother, man, you know, with his good intentions, with his good heart, was trying to bring me in to hear this man speak. And I'm not saying that what he's saying was necessarily wrong, but, you know, it kind of set me off on a warpath. And I was like, man, I'm not even going to get into the details, but it just, you know, had me really reflecting on things, you know, and just like I said, everything came together. So, alright, let me put it to you like this. So I've been into the Bible for, well, my whole life, really, you know what I mean, but I've just really diligently been studying the past 2.5 years, getting the breakdowns, in my blue letter Bible, going to the Hebrew thing, going this and that, you know what, and I had asked this cat, I asked him, I says, you know, do you believe that the Bible is the end-all be-all? You know? And that's a really good question, and I want to ask yourself that. Do you believe that the Bible is the end-all be-all? Well, I am 110% convinced that no, it is not, man. It can't be. That is what you try to get woke to, but you can't, man. You cannot put a cap on wisdom. You cannot put a cap on knowledge. There's a lot of people out there who are going to be wise in the confines of the Bible, in the confines of the Torah, in the confines of the fucking Quran, or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? The Book of Mormon. And yeah, you might laugh at that, but that's just as silly as the rest of it. You know what I mean? Because that is putting a cap, a ceiling, a governor switch on your mind. And so you got all these cats running around arguing about this, and arguing about that, about no, this interpretation, that there's so many different interpretations, right? So that got me thinking. I was like, man, you know, I'm just going to another Christian cat who got this interpretation and that interpretation, right? And I got to thinking. I looked up how many different denominations of Christianity is, and we're just going to use Christianity as an example because it's with all of them, you know, whether it be different sects in Islam or what have you. I looked it up. There are 40,000. I'm going to repeat that. 40,000 different denominations, interpretations, of the Bible, man. There's something inherently wrong with that. Fundamentally, there is something wrong with that. The truth don't need 40,000 different interpretations. The truth is the truth is the truth. Okay? Now let me tell you what. I can reference the Bible. Think of the Bible as a water well. Water's good, right? You need water, right? And somebody shit in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? You're gonna want to drink out that water. You know that the water's good, but it just don't taste right. You know, something ain't quite right. You know? So 40,000, y'all. 40,000 different interpretations of the Bible. That can't be the truth. Who knows how many interpretations of the Quran and all these other motherfucking religions. Religion in general. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks that they know the essence of God or who God is or who God loves and this and that. You niggas got it all fucked up. Okay? And I'm going to explain to you how and why. So, because I was arguing a point, I was like, you know, they was talking about the Holy Spirit was upon them in the Old Testament. And that's the old. We in the new. I was like, what about the, you know, my ancestors? What about like the Native Americans and whatnot? Are you saying that they didn't have the Holy Spirit before Jesus came? Are you saying that the way of life, that way of life wasn't right? That all these feelings and emotions that I have aren't symptoms of so-called Babylon, of America, of the system that we're living in now? Oh, nah, man, it's just me. Now, fuck no, it ain't just me. All right? Hell nah. So this got me thinking. Now, every proverb, I love proverbs, and I'm going to tell you why, and why they the truth, but every proverb that I've ever elevated to or I've ever related to has always had to do with nature, you know? And this is what I'm going to do to totally cut this shit, is I'm going to use nature in everything that I talk about. If it ain't in nature, if the principle is not in nature, I don't want to hear that shit. Period. If the principle ain't in nature, I don't want to hear it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is just like the venom from a snake can kill a man, right? The venom from the snake can kill a man. These doctrines, these religious doctrines are venom. But I'm going to sit there, and you could also use that venom to heal a man. So with the same doctrines and the same quotes or any of that shit, I'm going to cut y'all with that. I'm going to use that venom, and I'm going to inject it in your bloodstream, but to heal you. You know what I mean? Because your mind is confined. And I'm here to heal the blind. You know? So check it out. Imagine this. The indigenous cultures of Africa and the Americas. Now, I'm going to use your Bible to cut you, okay? And understand. All right, I went ahead and turned the swamp cooler off so y'all don't hear no distortion. Have no excuse to hear this truth. All right? So everything must be found in nature. All right? If it ain't, if the principle is not in nature, I don't want to hear that shit. Okay? Now here's how I'm going to start. Since you so-called Christians can only reference the Bible for your thinking, right? For your ability to understand, I'm going to go ahead and start out with that. All right? So a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. What does that mean? A bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. Okay? In case you don't know what that means, so if I'm back in the day, right? Let's say, you know what, matter of fact, I'm Mowgli, and this is the Jungle Book, okay? I'm Mowgli, this is the Jungle Book. I got a bird in the hand, and I see, you know, two birds over there in the bush, and I'm thinking, damn, you know, if I could just get those two birds, I'll have three birds on my plate tonight, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and go get those birds. And let's say me, Mowgli, being Mowgli, I go to get those two birds, and I lose one, and I don't get the two birds. So I done lost three. Now I go to bed hungry. All right? So I had just learned a principle, right? In that there. I learned the principle that a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. And that principle you could apply to many things. If you got a job, a punk ass job that's paying $8 an hour, all right, and there's this opportunity, but you got to take a day off to go get that, or the weekend to go and chase after this job that's $20 an hour. And let's say you do that, you quit that job, and you go to try to get that $20 an hour job, and you don't get it. Well, you just lost your measly $8 an hour job. But you know what? It was better than not having shit. Better that you had that one bird than chasing those two in the bush. Let's say you got a good woman at home, and you over there chasing this voluptuous woman, and you don't even end up getting her, and you lost your girl, your good woman in the process. Right? There is a principle in that. Okay? Now, I want you to give me 40,000 different interpretations of that principle. Give me 40,000. I'm going to give you a second. No, I'm going to give you a minute. You can't do it. Why? Because it's the truth. Okay? That's why you can't do it. Because it is the unfiltered truth. You can't give 40,000 different interpretations, 40,000 different doctrines, different denominations on the truth. It simply cannot be done. All right? Now, I got another one. A plant reveals itself. Wait. The plant reveals what is in the seed. I'll repeat that. The plant reveals what's in the seed. Give me 40,000 different interpretations of that. Give me one. Give me one. You can't do it. You simply cannot do it. Why? Because it's the truth. Okay? If I say you need water to live, am I going to have 40,000 different interpretations, doctrines about you need water to live? Am I going to have 20,000 different comments in the comment section talking about, nah, man, well, technically, so-and-so did this, and well, no, that ain't right, because in this, really, no, because if you look at this picture and this archaeological, you can't do none of that shit, God damn it, because it's the truth. The truth does not waver. It is set, okay, in nature. All you spiritual ass niggas out there, oh, I'm spiritual, man. What nature got to do with anything? With your you go through the drive-through eating a 99-cent cheeseburger, going through Taco Bell, getting you a grande meal. You're totally disconnected from nature. Okay? I'll use a man can't live on bread alone. All right. A couple of these I'm gonna give to you is from ancient Egypt. This one is a Native American proverb. Those who have one foot in the canoe and one foot in the boat are gonna fall into the river. Give me 20,000, 40,000 different arguments about how that ain't so in the comment section. You can't do it. Okay? These are principles. All right? And this is the revelation. See, you can't look in a book for wisdom. All right? I mean, you can, but you can't. We are here the whole time. I'm reading through this book. I'm reading through that book. I'm reading through the Bible. I might be reading through this and that. And behold, the answer is right in front of your eyes. If you talk to a so-called Christian, he's going to say, oh, don't believe your lying eyes, man. That's the devil. That's the flesh. Over there believing your eyes, your five senses. That's what the devil do to fool you. Man, bullshit. Okay? You have your senses for a reason. Now, this is a true revelation because Mobley, right? When he learned that principle, when the bird was in the hand and he lost them other two, Did a being from the sky have to drop down and tell him that principle? Did somebody did he have to read that shit in the book? Huh? Did a gloriful being that you ignorantly call God have to come down from the sky and reveal that to him, unto him? No. Okay? So how absurd would it sound that, so you want me to believe that God had to come in the form of a burning bush, God had to come from somewhere else to give the commandments to Moses? That thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not. How the fuck does that even make sense? See, the revelation is that in nature, it is written. In nature, these principles are written and they are truths. They cannot be shooken. They cannot be interpreted. They cannot be misconstrued. They cannot be twisted. They cannot be spun. You feel what I'm saying? Can you comprehend that? Okay. Now, the indigenous ancestors of the Americas and Africa, when they're going about their daily living, they're like Mobley in this context, right? You know, they are, when you are in your true nature as a man, how you were meant to be on this earth. See, the problem is that we're disconnected from nature. We're disconnected from who we are. You are so goddamn egotistical, you Instagram niggas and bitches, that you feel you're somehow special. You feel like you're disconnected from all this here. Like heaven and we came down to earth. You are disconnected. If you are so spiritual and you're disconnected from this place and you're better than this place, then I don't want to see you eating no goddamn food. I want to see you posting no pictures of no food. I don't want you to drink no water after you working out that ass. None of that. Because you're spiritual. You don't need that, right? You don't got nothing to do with nature. You an angelic being. You an angelic bitch. Stop it. I'm cutting all of that. All right? Now, I'm going to give you a few more. All right? The truth is like a lion. All right? The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. You let it loose and it'll defend itself. Okay? Now, does God have to come down from heaven and write that shit in stone? No, because it is written in the laws of nature. That is the essence of a proverb. That is where these proverbs came from. And they were corrupted somewhere along the line. See, and if you really just were diligent about studying Christianity and where it came from, do you think that the Israelites, since we're talking about Christianity, do you think that when the Israelites were in Egypt, in captivity in Egypt for 400 years, right? Do you think when they got out of Egypt that they had no customs or no knowledge that was coming out of Egypt? What do you think? Nothing? Think they were still the same as when they went in? Bullshit. The slaves in America, the African slaves in America, and there were also Native American slaves, the African American slaves in America, if you put them next to an African in Africa, their mannerisms, the way that they talk, the way that they interact, is it going to be same as in some cat from Zimbabwe? No. They have taken a lot of America out of that. That would be a perfect example. I'm gonna give you another one. A hunter with only one arrow does not shoot carelessly. A hunter with only one arrow does not shoot carelessly. Give me 40,000 different interpretations of that shit, huh? Give me 40,000 different denominations on that one principle. See, a principle can be applied to many things, but the truth holds to be true. What I say? The truth is the truth is the truth. So what you had somewhere along the line these pure truths that were taken from nature pure truths taken from nature were corrupted. Shit in the water. You know what I mean? And because naturally we can identify with let's say the Bible or Islam or any of these religions because we see that water, we see that truth in there, but it's mixed up with a whole lot of bullshit as well. And it's psychological because you see yourself, your struggle in the Bible. You can relate to this. A lot of you hoes can relate to Lot's wife. A lot of you bitches can relate to being a damn harlot. A lot of you niggas can relate to being slothful. I can relate. We can relate to being oppressed, to being in bondage, to being in captivity. So it's easy to be attached to that. But it is a governor on your mind. It is a ceiling on your mind. Because wisdom, God ain't gonna come down and write it on stone, nigga. He did something even way better than that. It's in front of your fucking face. It's written in the laws of nature, and it is endless, man. And being the way that I am, I will leave no stone unturned in uncovering the wisdom that God has left written in nature. Know thyself, man. Know thyself. You cannot live without water. You cannot live without bread. I'm telling you. This is a true revelation. And this is why not a church, not a synagogue, not a goddamn mosque, not a Scientology church, not the church up the street, not a Hebrew Israelite preacher on the motherfucking block, not none of you motherfuckers can last in the face of this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because what you call truth can be interpreted, can be corrupted. But when you get to the root, it is what it is, man. It's pure. A fool will go the way that you divert the water. A fool will go the way that you like a fool and water, you'll go the way you are diverted. Yeah, something like that. You know, I got some other ones. No matter the economy of the jungle, the lion will never eat grass. I ain't eating no grass, man. That's not what I'm gonna do. You niggas wanna give me a plate full of grass talking about it's hard out there for a pimp when he trying to pay the money for the rent. Here goes some grass, brother. Man, fuck your grass. All right? They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of ignorance in them, due to hardness of heart. Here's a Comanche proverb. All who have died are equal. I wonder how the Comanches got that revelation. Did the white man come from America and did Jesus Christ come down before he preached to the Israelites and tell them that? Hell no, he didn't. That's something you can observe yourself, God damn it. In death, we're all equal. It don't take nobody coming down from the sky to let you know that. Looks like it's gonna rain outside. I better bring an umbrella. It's hot. The sun is burning outside. Find some shade so that thee might not be burnt, O white man. Did God need to come down and pass that on and write it on a goddamn papyrus or on a script and then translate it 1,000,000 times? Hell no, he didn't. I got some other ones here. The eyes of men speak words the tongue can't pronounce. A Crow proverb. Wow. That's profound. You want to know what else is something profound, man? My grandma. Man, that woman is so wise, man. You know, my family, they have the old ways a lot, you know, survived off hunting elk, on growing crops, on knowing what wild plants that they had to survive on and what its attributes was and what it could be used for. And then they might, so that they don't go hungry, they're going to preserve it. This is all stuff that I learned from my grandma and I didn't even appreciate it. And you know, my grandma saying, I grew up in the Bay Area, you know, in the Oakland area, and but my family's from, you know, New Mexico, and I remember when my grandma used to come and visit. I was like, Grandma, you know, she always wanted to go home. You know, I was like, don't you like the city, Grandma? Don't you like, you know, and she'd fly into SFO in San Francisco International, and she was like, no, I just want to go home. I love seeing you, you know, I just want to go home. I was like, why don't you like the city? I couldn't get it. I couldn't snap to it. You know, I love the city, man. There's so much to do here, all the amenities. She's like, when she was flying in, you know, when she's flying in, she says, it looks like a bunch of gravestones. She's like, it looks like a bunch of gravestones. I didn't know how truly profound that was, but think about it, man. It does look like a bunch of gravestones. And that's so metaphoric on so many levels, man. You know? And she just wanted to go home back to New Mexico where she can, you know, live humbly, live like we were meant to live, you know? And you got all these people telling you this and trying to sway you this. The reason that we are in pain, the reason I feel destitute, the reason why I'm angry, the reason why I'm not content, the reason why we have something missing is because we are living in a society that rejects nature, that rejects what it is to be men, women. We have totally gone against the grain in that regard, you know, and destroyed the indigenous cultures which preserved what was righteous, what was truly righteous, not corrupted by men. You got to understand that when the Romans came in, you know, and they started seeing all this information, you know, in Egypt and all this, you know, when they came to the Americas and they seen all these great things, they was feeling some type of way. They was on their jealousy tip, you know, and they took something that was pure and they shit in the motherfucking well. And then they give it back to you, the water, and tell you that shit good, man. Drink that shit. Don't that taste good to you? I don't know, man. It tastes a little, but you know, it does sustain me, you know, but you know, nah, man, that's what you need right there. You need that water to live after they done shit in the well, man. Fuck that, man. I can't let that shit ride, man. I told you at the beginning, man. After I get done, if this ain't enough, after I get done, they can't. The preacher's gonna quit their job. The church gonna have to board it up. You know what I mean? Put a for sale sign. The people better demand that the Catholic Church, which is the richest landowner in the fucking world, they gotta give it up, man. They gotta give it up. Because you niggas is under high level indoctrination. You niggas have been shielded from reality before your own fucking eyes, man. The truth is right before you, man. And you have every sense to see it before your eyes. You don't need to run to no other man so that you can grasp a truth. See, you think that we have been indoctrinated to think that God, when you think of God like it's supposed to be a being, or like you're thinking about like it's a man, and that's total psychological warfare, because God is more close to the existence of life itself. Life. The essence of life. Have you ever studied the human body? Let me rip your lung out and see if you can still survive. Huh? Why can't you? Because it's a whole, it's a system, it's working together. You want me to use another biblical reference since you niggas need the Bible to understand anything? Huh? Think about it as the earth saying this, okay? This is my body, eat from it. This is my blood, drink from it. Blood being the water, body being fruit, the bread from the earth. Think about it like that. But you want to stay disconnected. Life is not that complicated. They have made it complicated. You know? We are born, my grandpa used to say this. He says, you know how they say in the story of Adam and Eve, how, they lost paradise? My grandpa said, nah. He says, we're in paradise. We the ones that are lost. Damn! That's a cut. My grandpa just cut you. Okay? We're the ones that are lost. We're the ones that are lost, man. This is paradise. We live in a plane of pure abundance, and through systematic oppression, systematic psychological warfare, you have been conditioned to think that we live in scarcity. You know? Everything is free. Everything is abundant. And yet, your bitch ass is working 60 hours a week. Want everybody, I work 60 hours a week, you lazy ass nigga. Like, what? So that you can go and drink on Friday and you going in a circle, man. You're going in a circle. Do you think when the so-called white man came to America and he was, he was coming at the natives and he's over there saying, hey, yo, man, Squanto, yo, Sitting Bull. Hey, man, I see y'all living pretty good here, you know what I'm saying? But I got something better, though. I got something way better than that. How about you come work for me? In about 30, maybe 40 years, man, you might be able to pay off your own house. What? They're going to look at him like, man, you don't got nothing to give me. That's why they had so much problem defeating my ancestors, because you don't got shit that you don't got shit that we need. Your ideology is flawed. You don't got shit that we need. They literally had to kill the way of life by killing all the buffalo. So then you had to come to them for the meat. That's some dirty shit, man. Our way of life has been corrupted. Your mind has been corrupted by the Bible, by Islam. I hope you bitches, if this gets out there to the four corners of the earth, that you Islamic women, not that I promote feminism, because that's a whole nother video. Fuck that shit too. That could be for a later topic. But man, you should be ripping off your damn burqas and your all your religious bullshit by the thousands. You should be beating the shit out the preacher. You should be knocking down the church house. You should be boarding that motherfucker up. This shit can't stand no more, man. This is a new day coming. You know what I mean? Truth. Not 40,000 different interpretations. Not 20,000 different interpretations. Not a bunch of different people arguing over the details of something. You look like fools. You are fools. What should I leave it off with, man? A Lakota proverb, everything the power does, it does in a circle. Well, that's beautiful. You look, here's something else that brings up a whole nother thing. And I always thought this, man, but you don't want to say shit because you be like sounding like it's some fruity shit, but it ain't. The male energies and the female energies are all around us. Everything is all around us. Truth is all around us. It ain't written on the damn stone. It ain't written here. It ain't written there. Look at the sun. You know what I mean? Like the energy of a man in the daytime. And look at the moon that corresponds to the woman. Soft, gentle, cool. The sun, strong, manly. And look at the dance that they do in the sky. Right? Man chasing the woman just like we do, right? Yeah, she gonna make you run that race too. She gonna make you run that race. The man chasing the woman and what have you. Here's another biblical, for you biblical referencing ass niggas that you might want to heed that. There's a scripture that y'all be bringing out that says one day there's gonna be a famine of the word. No, there has been a famine of the word. And I'm bringing the living water to the light, the living water, because this is the living truth. It gives a new definition of that, right? The living truth. All right. You can go look outside your door and see it. You don't got to go up the street and pay tithings for the living truth. A bird builds a nest and it ain't got no hands, and it's gonna protect its young from the wind. You know what I'm saying? Do you know when the teepee, you know, it was made from buffalo hide? It represents the sticks that bind together represent the male energy, the men coming together. I got this shout out Russell Means. The greatest honor I ever had. I admired that man, and I got the privilege to be able to talk to him for about only 2 hours, but it was a great 2 hours. I had somebody that I knew. He said, "You like that's." He's like, "Who's your inspiration?" I said, "Russell Means." He's like, "That's my boy. Like, I got his number. I can call him." He three-wayed him, man. That was a beautiful honor, and that man had a lot of wisdom, you know. And he said, you know, that's the male energy. The TPs, like how it is set up, that's like the male energy. And when they're bind like that, it don't need no foundation on the ground or nothing like that. It's all putting the weight on each other, and it's unbreakable like that. And the wind ain't doing nothing to it. And the flap represents the woman, and it's in a circle, which is sacred, right? And when a man has to go into the teepee, he has to kneel down to humble himself before he goes into his family. Man, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Here's a good one that I should end it on. The seed cannot sprout upwards without simultaneously sending roots to the ground. I lied. I'm not even gonna leave it on that one. So there's in Montana somewhere, and the name of the plant eludes me, but in Montana there's this weed that's taken over that came from Europe. Go figure. There's this weed that's taken over, and because it's killing off the native grass and stuff like that, because it's fighting for its territory, because below ground, you know, the root system, you're fighting also below the ground. They're fighting for food and nutrients and resources, just like we are above ground. As above, so below. You know what I'm saying? And so this weed in Montana is so what happens when it fights for the native grassland that's there? There ain't no more grass, and then what? Then what happens then? You know? Now the cattle can't graze. You know what I'm saying? And the white man has infinite wisdom, you know. When he took the wolves out of Yellowstone, thinking, you know, being that he's infinitely wise and everything, it fucked up the whole ecosystem, you know. And then when they go and introduced the wolves back in, literally wolves change rivers because it all affects everything, you know. Here's another thing that Russell Means had told me. What was it that you know what happens if you remove one of these animals, or some go extinct, or if you remove like one of these animals that we depend on from the environment, everything else starts to die. Do you know what happens when you remove man from the environment? The earth thrives, which teaches responsibility. You know what I mean? Not to be greedy. And all we do is me, but as a society, just like that movie They Live, that's how I see the world. You know, we've manipulated us to consume, go to work. Man, this shit gotta go, man. Now, I'm not saying to go pitch a fucking tent, nigga, but what I am saying is to get back to what it is to be a human being, to be in our nature. This is our nature. God is not coming from the sky, man. He is all around the essence of life itself. You know what I mean? You looking for proofs and yo blind ass can't even see what's staring at you in the face. That's the devil talking, Derek. That's the devil talking, Majestic. Nah, that ain't the devil talking, man. That's the truth. All right? I shouldn't even have to do another video, but I probably will. I'm gonna have to drill this one home. You know what I mean? But everything that I'm gonna reference is gonna be written not in an old ass Dead Sea Scroll, not in a fucking papyrus here nor there, not at the bottom of the sea, some archaeological evidence. No. What I'm going to reference is going to be written in nature, and I will leave no stone unturned. And there's so many truths to be revealed and that have already been revealed. And with that, man, I'm going to leave it there. And I would hope that you would spread this message so that it resonates. You can't come up against it, man. I release the lion, and the lion don't need you don't need to defend that, you know. The truth is going to defend itself, you know. And, you know, I want you to spread this message because a golden age. My son told me this. I can never leave out the door just like that. I was talking to my son, and my son was struggling with, you know, and he's a lot like me. And he was like telling me about the age of anxiety, how he had studied that. I said, we in the age of anxiety right now. And the age of, what did he say? The age of anxiety. Oh, yeah. And I was like, we're in the age of confusion. But there's going to be, from this day forward, it's going to be BM and AM. Before Majestic, drop this knowledge. After Majestic. No, my real name, Derek, is going to be BD 80. You know? Because this word got to be pushed out. This truth got to be pushed out. And we need to live accordingly. All right? So I'm not going to be doing the back and forth, going no more on biblical doctrine and here and there, because that is a chain. That is like saying that is the end all and be all. That is like, I got all the answers you ever going to need, motherfucker. In this little book, that ain't the truth. The truth don't have 40,000 different interpretations. The truth don't have different sects. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Okay, I'll leave it off with this. Altruism is the mark of a superior being. And I know I go kind of off. Wait, did I get to my point about the grasses? Oh, well, yeah, so that weed is like taking over everywhere, so it affects the ecosystem. Yeah, and I got into like the wolves and stuff like that. But then, you know, you got to plant there's another, like, I forget what kind of flower it is, but you have to plant that. So what it does is those weeds that are taking over, they release like this chemical, which like kills the other roots so that they have all the turf. You know what I mean? And they can just grow abundantly and stuff like that. But there's this other plant that they're planting that's going to counterbalance that, you know? So that's what I want to do. That's what I got to do, is I got to counterbalance all this poison. You know what I'm saying? That venom that can kill a man, I got to take that venom and inject it right back in the bloodstream to heal him. Because I will cut your ass, man. You know, there's no coming up against this, man. You don't stand a chance. And like I said, I was going to end it with altruism is the work of a superior being. Now, what is altruism? Also, you can find that in the plant. In the plants, even the roots. Do you know that when the plants can even sense family? And when you put the plants that are, you know, with some other plants or whatever that ain't related genetically, they just going to be competing for territory right below the ground, you know? But when they recognize that that's their family, The altruism is which you sacrifice so that others can have. You know what I mean? Ain't no altruism going on with a capitalistic system. The capitalistic system can only survive with a few being on the top and the rest of you bitch motherfuckers competing for resources that are already free. Where did the concept that man can own the earth come from? Have you not been listening to me? The earth owns you. The earth owns you. You are disconnected from earth, nature. You're disconnected from God. You're disconnected from yourself. The earth owns you. You don't own the earth, man. Therefore, this system that we set up in this pyramid fucking scheme that we're living in right now, it's got to go. We're living in paradise, but you lost, nigga. Paradise is out your front door. Paradise is not getting stuck in 5 a.m. traffic, drinking on Saturday and going back to work Monday through motherfucking Friday. That ain't paradise. All right? What are we competing for? Everything is here abundantly. I'm bringing it down, man. I'm tearing it down. And we're going to start with this religious doctrine, and then we're going to work on to the next. All right? Peace, love, blessings, all of that, man. You know, this is Majestic, giving you that knowledge you can't get in biblical college. Okay? All right, love.